At long last, I finally got him. Almost got the same treatment as Ashmere, where I almost got him on the last day of this banner, which I'm super glad I did because otherwise I would have put a few bucks in. Now the main reason why I got him was because I planned on putting him in my Apex box. Now if you guys don't know what he's all about, his talent lets him increase his crit chance by 10%, and I think it is a 30% chance if he's at 6 stars. And the damage dealt increases by 50%, which caps out at like 40% at 6 stars. And when battling against characters with less than 90% HP, he recovers 15% of damage dealt after battle, which again will increase the more you upgrade his star level. For every enemy with HP lower than 100%, he gains +1 mobility up to 3, and once again, the more star level you increase with them, the more it goes up. Now for his mastery stones, same old, armor you want HP attack defense, headwear HP attack magic defense, weapon and accessory, HP attack and skill. Now onto the arena stats. Now the reason why I went with all of these is because since I'm using a rush box, all I care about from him is just doing as much damage as possible. You could go with something like I did, or if you want, you can give him defense or magic defense, and then for the last two you can do crit rate and crit damage reduction if you want him to survive just a bit better. Now for his soldiers, Julian, I don't think he's someone that you would use for regular PvE content, but let's say you are, then you could do something like bandits, shinobis, maybe even fireband snipers, just to help with deal with those flyers a bit better. There's also the faceless as well. These guys are always really good. Now for PvP, the Earth Elf Knight is going to be your best choice because if Julian lands a crit, he can give the enemies a strong debuff and he can steal a buff from them, which will be super annoying for the enemy team. Especially since he has AoE skills, you can really make good use of these guys. As for his weapons, the extreme magic bow, that's all you want. But if you don't have one, then crystal stingers could be another option. I'm not sure about that one. I say that because the crystal stinger will give him more crit increase, but other than that, any attack increase weapon will be good enough for him. But if you get the extreme magic bow, then I would highly recommend it on him. As for his armor, the last rites most definitely. No need to even bother asking. Another option is the Azure Legend, which is basically like the last rites but slightly worse. But it is still pretty good as a placeholder. For his helmet, if you plan on taking him for PvP, then the Doomsday is a great option since it can give one other enemy within 2 blocks unable to be healed. If not, then the King's Crown is also another viable option. For his accessories, the Judge Talisman, Slayer's Emblem, or just any attack increase accessory will work out for him. Heck, you can probably even do the Twilight Star on him as well. For the enchants that you want on him, you can do Blazing Sun since it will give him more crit, which is always nice, or you can do Full Moon as well. That one will give him 10% increased stats as long as his HP is above 80%. Another alternative that I've seen people do is Breeze, but the thing about Julian is that he can already give himself a bunch of mobility if the enemy is already hurt. So I feel like there's really no need for that, and there's also some people that use magic for him as well, and I'm sure that you guys know what that does. Overall though, Blazing Sun would be my best choice to use, but feel free to choose whatever you guys prefer. Alright, so hopefully you guys have a good idea on Julian now, so let's jump right into his first awakening stage. Alright, so here we are, we're gonna be facing Florentia, Ares, and then Hilda. Alright, so for the soldiers that you want to use on them, you could use like something like the fireband snipers. I would say that these guys would be the best choice to use because not only are you able to deal with Ares a whole lot better, but if the enemy survive, then you can do fixed damage right after, which is always pretty good against like enemies like these who have a lot of HP. Another one you can do is the bandits, the faceless, and then the shinobis. But for this stage, I'm going to be using the fireband snipers. As for the skills that you want to bring for him, you could do the passive one, which will not only let himself take less damage as long as the HP is below 100%, but you are able to move 3 blocks right after, which might be good against Hilda so that you aren't in her attack range. And then you want the single target skills like Shadow Raid and then Snare. Snare will lower the enemy's mobility. Or you know what, you can also do AoE skills like 1000 Arrows if you find yourself not be able to do enough damage on them. 1000 Arrows is a good one since you can attack and then move back. And this thing has a 2-turn cooldown as well, so you'll be able to get these pretty quick. Alright, so with that being said, let's start this thing. Florentia is no problem at all. You should be able to pretty much kill her relatively fast. Plus if you have the Judge Talisman, then you'll be able to almost always one-shot her. Now with Ares, he should be no problem at all because with the snare, it'll do more damage against flyers. And with the 5-band snipers, it'll do a whole lot more damage on Ares. There we go, 63,000. No problem whatsoever. If you have this passive skill, you can easily run away from her. Or what? Hold on. I forgot that she does that. Hold on. Okay, so I literally forgot that she can actually attack 2 blocks if the enemy is using a physical range attack. I totally forgot about that part. Okay, so for the first time, she'll just use her AoE guard skill. That's all she'll be doing. And you can literally just wait it out until she gets that skill back. Because right after she uses that AoE skill, she'll try to do a regular attack on you, which can be pretty scary. Alright, so I used clock like 3 times. I went all the way over here just to take advantage of the defensive terrain. Let's hope it works out. Okay, so he was able to one-shot him. Earlier, he wasn't able to one-shot it the first time. I think with the training ground, like archers will do more damage against when they're on the defensive terrain or something like that. But yeah, there we go. Hilda was pretty tricky, even for me, and my Julian is pretty well built. But like I said, if you find yourself not being able to do as much damage to them, then you can bring the 1000 arrow skill, which will hopefully save you guys a whole lot of trouble. Alright, for his 3C skill, which has a 3-turn cooldown. Now for his passive, after he defeats an enemy with the skill, he gains the effect that deals fixed damage equal to 2 times attack to enemies before being forced into a battle that lasts for 1 turn. The skill will also ignore guard and crit chance is increased by 30%. When he defeats an enemy, the skill's cooldown is reduced by 2 turns. And his HP is permanently increased by 50% up to 30% that cannot be dispelled. And he will recover 15% of his own HP each time he does so. Which is pretty interesting, not a really bad skill, but I think this is the first time I'm seeing where a character can actually increase their own HP during battle. Like I said, I'm not sure if there was any other character that does this, I can't really remember on top of my head. But anyways though, let's take a look at his animation skill. Alright, so in case you guys don't know how I do these things, usually with the second awakening stages, I don't show them in a video if they are that hard, because with these second awakening stages, you'll get 3 other characters that you can control and they are really useful. So yeah, they're always going to be much more easier compared to the first awakening stage, which is why I don't really show them in the video most of the time. And if you guys are just unlucky with these things, then I would advise just trying again to see if you get luckier, because you aren't really going to rely on your own character most of the time. So yeah, I'll see you guys for the showcase. Alright, so Julian, just to recap, he has a passive. After he defeats an enemy, he gets a buff, deals fixed damage twice with his own attack before being forced into battle. Skill ignores guard, increases his crit by 30%, and when he kills an enemy, skill cooldown is reduced by 2, and his HP is increased by 15%, all the way up to 30%. Very simplistic. Alright, so we're gonna be attacking all meta here, and he did get attacked by Lucio, but that should be fine. Alright, so here we go. Okay. I was afraid that Julian was gonna die right there, but we're chilling. We are chilling. And his HP did increase right there. It's at 10,000 right now, and I think it was at 9,000 before. Then right here, after killing with this 3C, his HP increases by 15%, and he gets that buff where he can deal fixed damage before being forced into battle. There goes Matthew. Okay, there he goes. Hopefully Julian survives. And that was actually a lot of fixed damage right there. Holy. But Julian dealt with that with no problem. But I do gotta say that I think Julian is a fantastic character to use. I feel like what Julian is doing is more than enough. Like, this guy is already doing so much damage like on his own. Like, he can already get so much attack. So he's gonna be already doing a lot of damage on his own. And with his built-in talent that lets him already do so much damage dealt, as long as the enemy's HP is low enough, it makes it feel like he has a guaranteed chance to almost always kill his opponents. And his AoE skill is really good, his unique one. It can do so much damage. Like, if you guys seen videos on Julian, that thing is hitting a lot. And plus with the addition that it will do even more if the enemy's HP is like what? Like lower than 100? Or what was it, like 90% I think it was? I gotta say, I really do like Julian. Plus he has good mobility as well. Granted that you do need to start him up quite a bit so that he can move a bit more. But yeah, I don't really see any issue with this guy. Even at 3-star, he feels pretty good to use. His long game just manages to make another assassin character feel ridiculously OP. And that was Julian 3C Showcase. a really fantastic character, although he may not be the best to use because of his factions, and you wouldn't really use assassins on the norm like that for regular PvE content, unless it's Omega we're talking about. But in PvP, this guy will be great for a lot of reasons. Great mobility, being able to ignore guard, and is also really capable of doing an enormous amount of damage. Plus, with the Earth Elf soldiers, you can give the enemies a debuff while also stealing their buffs at the same time, as long as you crit with them, which you should almost always be able to do that. I really see no problems with this guy besides the fact that you have to deal damage to the enemies for him to deal even more. I don't think that should really be an issue like at all. This guy can already do so much on his own. Plus, you only really need to hurt them just a little bit so that Julian can deal even more. So yeah, I would really suggest, now you guys don't really have to do this, but considering the way how Julian is, if you want to PvP with him, then I would recommend these sets for him, because typically with assassins, they're not really all that defensive. But anyways though, that's all I got for you guys. I know how late this one is, and by the time I even get this out, you can already pull for McClane and Ricky's banner, which by the way, they aren't really a must-need characters unless you really want McClane and use him for PvP. And Ricky is also a pretty self-sufficient character on his own. And if you guys haven't figured it out yet, I would suggest saving for the next 3 months because the characters we'll be getting are really good. I'm not really saying McClane and Ricky are all that bad, but they aren't really needed for anything. Or unless you guys are one of those people that likes to collect them. But feel free to let me know down in the comments how you guys really feel about Julian. Did you or did you guys not pull for him? Why or why not? And if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and yeah, thanks for watching. Your fellow Z.